Hi guys, welcome back to Marantz. Rantz, plenty of good information, a little bit of motivation, a whole lot of truth, no financial advice. This is a one-take session, no edits, no cuts, about GameStop. It's our Sunday conversation. So before we dig into it and we get into it, feel free to like, subscribe, and give it a thumbs up. I appreciate it, guys. It helps out with the algorithm, but it's GameStop, so let's have this conversation. This week was earnings, phenomenal earnings. GameStop showed that they only lost $3 million, and the trailing 12 looked like it's going positive because of the announcement that just was made. The announcement was that GameStop's EPS projection from Wall Street, the analysts themselves, say that the GameStop is going to go from 23 cents share positive to 28. That means they're projecting around $85 million worth of profit for quarter four. Now, GameStop has not missed, but they have surpassed Wall Street's analyst projections the last two quarters, and it's going to happen again. I already showed you guys, if you guys watch the other videos, where they're going to make more than $100 million in my book right now. But even if they just came in flat at $85 million profit, that would put them at a trailing 12 in the positive, $30 million, whatever it may be. And people will see it for what it is. And we know that you need to have a positive trailing 12 to get into the S&P 500. The thing about analysts, just so that we're clear, like Wedbush, they have a price target. They have a mission, to drive this price down, to put fear in the hearts of everyone. That's why they use media and they manipulate people. That's fine. I can deal with Michael Packer. I can deal with Nick McKay. I'm so sorry. But here's the deal. Even they know they're beat. Right now, they understand that operationally, GameStop is going to be in the positive. So that means everything we know. It means they're going to be eligible for the S&P 500. So some people tell you they're not even close. Well, the market cap tells us they need to have $12 billion. Yeah, that was last year and the year before. The actual S&P 500 is falling to pieces. If you look at it, just the top 7 are strong as hell. They're carrying the whole index, and people trade off this index. So people understand. But when you drop off the last 10, I went and looked at the bottom half of the S&P 500. I said, there's no way they're better than GameStop. GameStop has 3 things, right? You have a balance sheet, you have an income sheet, and then you have that cash flow. And when you look at the cash flow statement, well, let's destroy this narrative now, Michael Packer, anyone else out there. GameStop has 0 cash burn. They're not burning cash. They have a trailing 12 in the positive. We're actually making money. So no cash burn whatsoever. So let's just destroy that. Next is the balance sheet. We talked about the balance sheet, and it's strong as hell. $1.2 billion worth of cash and marketable securities, not propped up off in goodwill, and their asset versus liability is in the positive, right? I mean, they have a good ratio there. So that's why you have shareholder equity of $1.2 billion. So price is right. They have the cash. Balance sheet is good. Now it's operations. So when we actually look at the operations of this company and you find out that they are going to be in the positive because Wall Street says it. I'm not saying it. I'm following Wall Street. And the street says GameStop's going to be positive trailing 12. We know that. So what's the story now? What is it that they're not doing? Because they're not doing it on a grand scale? All right, I'll play with you here. We all know what was announced with Ryan. Ryan now has the ability to put in his own wealth behind GameStop's wealth. And he's going to be the CIO of GameStop's fortune, the $1.2 billion market. But think about this. That's the times where you trust him, right? He's putting in his own capital. So I had some people put in the text in there or in some comments of the videos, Marantz, this is no different than Adam Aaron taking AMC's money and putting it into HYMC, and look how that worked out. I was like, no. Because Adam Aaron took AMC's money. He didn't take his own. He doesn't buy shares of his own company. He doesn't buy shares of HYMC as well. So no, I never believe people when they don't do those things. Show me the incentive and I'll show you the result. Right? That's just the truth of everything you guys want to see out there. I remember commission plans when I was working, selling advertising, and I was like, oh, they're going to pay me to sell that? Sure. 1 month I hit out of the park. The next month they took away the incentive to sell it. I don't sell it. That was that. But the incentive right now for Ryan to be successful is, oh my goodness, he's going to be a trillionaire. I know people don't see it. And it's okay. Or some people do see it and they're scared as hell. So for Whiskey Betts, who comes into the chat last week and becomes a celebrity based off the fact that he just destroys the narrative that GameStop's not a good company, the executive team doesn't know what they're doing, and Marantz, he's Mr. Flip-Flop, even though I've been saying the same thing for 2.5 years. I let them say what they're going to say. I don't interrupt them because I want them to say it even more. I want them to expose themselves for who they are. I learned this from Almo. I learned this from Hot this year. If you guys don't watch the show and you guys don't know the moderators, People were saying some racial slurs and things. And I was like, I have zero tolerance of that. And they were like, no, Marantz, you let them type it. You let them say it. You let them do everything. I was like, what are you guys talking about? They're like, no, because it exposes who they are. And I never thought like that. But I guess when you go through it your whole life, you're like, okay, this is the way my mind works. Okay, well, I've never had to experience this, so I don't come from that culture. Well, in the investment world, it's the same parallel, right? And this is no disrespect to them and the way they were saying it. So, and I'll give you this example. This is why this show's different than other shows. I don't mind talking about how I feel about it. When people talk about GameStop in the negative and they try to destroy the idea of it being a great company, it's positive and it's going to get where it's going to get, I'm just like, you're talking bad about it. Okay, well, that just exposes who you are. More and more and more. Keep talking. So shout out to the mods who teach me a lot, even though they think I'm teaching them everything. But we're going to go over this because I heard GameStop is going to be positive, right? And then I saw, okay, so what does the S&P 500 really look like right now? Because I'm trying to pay attention to Whiskey Bets and him telling me it's never going to make it there. You guys tell me. S&P 500 right here, guys. I'm going to show you a company and we'll look at it right here. SEDG, Solar Edge Technologies, market cap, $4.4 billion. Look at that chart. I don't think they should be in it anymore. They went from $3.89 a share all the way down to $78 and still dropping. We'll go to Mohawk Industries, propped up on a lot of goodwill here, but they were once $2.90 a share, $2.30 a share, and now they're down to $92 a share. $5.88 billion with the market cap. And then let's look at the operating income. You know, the one where GameStop's positive on the trailing 12 after this quarter. Let's see what these guys are. They were $61 million positive, then 125, then 153, and then negative 733. So the trailing 12 is in the negative $400 million. I'm not making up the number. It's right there in front of you. Negative $400 million. GameStop lost $2 million, lost $3 million. These guys are $400 million. SEE stands for Sealed Air, $168 a share, all the way down to 33. Market cap of $4.88 billion. Sound familiar? VFC, VF Corp, $18 a share, and they were once at $86 a share. Market cap $7 billion. But let's look at the operating income at the top. Net income for the company is negative $214 million, negative $214 million, negative $57 million, and negative $450 million. Now, if those are errors up there because the first two 14s look like they're the same exact number, which makes no sense to me, but look at the other three. We'll just use three. 214, 57, and 450. You mean to tell me these guys are upside down $700 million? Trailing 12. Next, Whirlpool went from $229 a share all the way down to $111. It's kind of having a little rebound right now because it did touch $96 or 90-something dollars. Market cap, $6.11 billion. Operating income, 83 positive, 85 positive, lost 179, so that's a scratch, and lost $1.6 billion in 4 quarters ago. So they are down $1.6 billion in the trailing 12. You can't make up that number. $1.6 billion trailing 12. Hasbro, we talked about it, went from 108 all the way down to $48 a share. Well, was touching down to $43 a share, somewhere in that range. But $6.7 billion in market cap. They have lost 128, 22, 235, and 171. So they're down $550 million this trailing 12. $550 million while GameStop's positive. This is why Wall Street's running. This looks like a pump and dump to me. This is going to be CTLT, once $142 a share, all the way down to $37 a share. Market cap of 3.7. Operating income, 715 lost, 86 million lost, 227 lost. So in the last 3 quarters, they've managed to lose $1 billion, and they had a positive 81 million 4 quarters ago. Yep, $1 billion loss. How? These guys are like ranked like 480 in the S&P 500. And then right here, I'll give you one, the last one I'm going to show you, X-Ray. X-Ray went from $37 a share, or from from $67 a share all the way down to $31 a share. It was at $26 a share. Market cap of $6.75 billion. And their operating income, they lost 266. They had a positive of 86. They lost 19 and lost 15. So what does that mean? They're losing money. They lost 30, positive 50. They lost around $200 million already in the trailing 12. So that's my point. I can show you 7 or 8 right there that don't have the market cap where they should be eligible for the S&P 500. They don't have the operating income. It's not going to happen. So GameStop has them beat there. So what do we have in these conversations about, guys? How do we not know what GameStop's worth? Wall Street knows what it's worth. All these analysts out here, well, guess what? The analysts are all gone. Do you guys remember this 2.5 years ago? Some of you guys weren't here, so I'll explain it to you. There's Wall Street analysts out there. There's like 7 rating firms, whatever they want to be. And 3 of them or 4 of them stopped giving a rating on GameStop on purpose. Like, no, we're no longer going to give ratings on GameStop. We're no longer going to give you guidance on it. So everyone's just doing it on their own. For the last 2 years, people are just looking around, but there's only like 3 rating firms, and one of them just happens to be Wedbush. So now when they go, oh, there's a price target, this is what it is, it's always Wedbush. They're controlling the media. But when you had 7 people that would actually, and you know why they don't do it? You know why? Because they don't want to be part of this mess. They know exactly what it is. They're lying to you guys. They're manipulating the information, the news, and I'll be here. I'll be here when it's all said and done because I know we're right. GameStop. Can't stop, won't stop GameStop. It's a Sunday conversation. We know we're right about it. We're going to watch it all week. We'll watch it all month. We'll watch it all year. We'll watch it the rest of our lives. GameStop's the next hedge fund. GameStop's the next best everything. And until it's not, I'll keep letting you know. Positive T12, positive quarter 4. I didn't say it. Wall Street did. Peace.